Hey, everybody, welcome to What the Flick, The Leftovers 204 Orange Sticker. Alonso, Robert, it is happening again, as they would say on Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Miracle is not safe.
Nope.
It does make the prospects for the rest of the season more interesting to me, I
Really?
think. Yeah, because I just, it's...
Gotta have a new event to jazz it up for you?
Because if I'm not going to get explanation for what exactly is going on, then just you throw as much conflict as possible into this, and the city like erupting over the disappearance of the girls will certainly make things more interesting. But I did realize something watching this episode is that when they focus on Nora, I am happiest is not the right word, but I am most
intrigued,
satisfied, most intrigued because she's just doing such a great job, that actress,
Carrie
and
Coon,
the character is so interesting that I will watch her do anything.
I feel like she's got sort of the deepest sense of betrayal in terms of, her relationship with, how
Right.
he's off doing his nutty things and disappearing and whatever. And then obviously all of her baggage from her previous family and all that stuff. So yeah, I feel like we've been put the most in her head in a lot of ways as how we perceive all this stuff.
Because you know what her tragedy is. I mean, really, like he didn't lose anybody. I mean,
True.
he lost somebody under him, but he didn't lose no family members, and she what she went through was so much more intense.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, his family was destroyed by it indirectly, but it's a different thing.
But no one went away,
Yeah.
and which is why I guess he's probably supposedly our entry into the
Our
story.
conduit, yeah.
So that what he observes and takes in, we do too. But I mean, that she just I'm always interested in what she does.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like when she sees the dogs start going crazy, you're like, oh God, here we go. It's this again.
yeah, which.
And she is right to be panicked about it. I mean, like when she has that 911 call, did it happen again? Did it happen again?
Right.
I mean, like, and it turns out maybe yes.
Yeah, and since I like the family next door, and they're intriguing to me what they're going through. I liked that they went off to the motel, and I love the deceptive way Sean got Kevin out of the way so he can go beat up that guy.
Do we think there's something developing between the son and the daughter, or
I don't know what's going on there. It's just one of those ways they'd like to tease us and make us think any number of possible things. But yeah, clearly that the son is got something in his head.
It's weird that I mean, because at this point in the show's chronology, we're what 3 years after the event, the people disappeared.
Something like
3 or 4, maybe. I mean, because when the show began, it had been 2 years, and they had just released the congressional thing saying we don't know. So more time has passed since then, and you've still got those people camping outside of Miracle and getting very easily riled up, as it turns out, as soon as the gates go up or whatever. So obviously, it's in a lot of people's psyche, still very first and foremost and unresolved.
Yeah, and once again, it's this idea of the unresolvedness that is both the thing that's interesting about the show and my problem with the show is that I like unresolvedness, but when there's something that we know we're never going to find out, it just makes it frustrating.
Yeah, again, I don't.
I'd rather you get like I like it when you give little moments of suspense, like trying to get the phone back, trying to keep the knowledge that he was there, and possibly had tried to commit suicide, away from the family next door. Learning more about what the whole deal is with burning the guy's house down and what that's all about. I mean, I like it when you can get concrete.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that the show is about grief and how sometimes even like somebody just like dying in life can seem utterly
senseless,
mysterious and senseless to us, but
yeah, I almost feel like it would be a cheat to have too rational an explanation for the event, because I think the event exists in this sort of metaphorical way that sort of, I mean, again, we've always said this is a very post 9/11 show and about people dealing with just random destruction and death and seemingly from nowhere, and I think it's truer to the experience that people have in real life of losing loved ones to make it not have a nice bow around it, to make it senseless and random and chaotic.
Yeah.
But you're right. But after that, I do want things explained. I want things to make sense within a context of the show, and I think for the most part it does. And I feel like the stuff they aren't answering immediately, they're going to answer eventually. Patty is acknowledged in this episode, and not just by Justin through, but also by the crazy guy in the tower.
Crazy guy in the tower. I know. So
and Justin through still hasn't gone and had the meeting with the dude who offered to help him out with his problem in a couple episodes ago.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and clearly Nora is now by going to her brother is probably going to be heading off in a direction that separates her even further from Kevin, I think.
I guess, although, I mean, she seems so...
Look, if Nora finds out that people are disappearing again and she's in this place that she thought was,
oh, right, that's
safe,
the one...
she might have breakdowns.
That's true, yeah. In fact, when she went to the grocery store, I turned to my friend Gary and said, do you have any Kevlar vests? Poor thing. So lots of questions being raised, and whether or not we get answers is in the kind hands of Damon Lindelof. So,
hopefully they'll keep it exciting.
Roll the dice on that one. All right, so we'll be back next week. Join us then.